Story time. Okay, so I have a story time video that I want to film. This story time wasn't too long ago. It was probably about a week and change ago. Well, let me give you a little bit of background before the story. I just graduated from Paul Mitchell as of January the 28th, so I am a recent Paul Mitchell graduate. I even got my balloons. Hold on. Let me put my balloons. It's so recent. I still have my balloons. Anyways, okay, so my story time video is pretty much about my anxiety attack that I got at State Board. Let me tell you. Oh my goodness. Okay. As you know, to become a licensed cosmetologist, after you do go to cosmetology school, you have to go and test. You have to go take the state test. And so, you know, normally all beauty colleges, they prep you for state boards. So we have this thing called final phase right before you graduate. We focus specifically on state board, what's needed for state board, what's required, what you need to do, the whole shebang, like everything. We pretty much learn everything. So, you know, we go over these drills over and over and over and over and over again until, you know, it's just second nature. I'm so ready for this test, like legit. You have to test out of your school before they can even give you the paperwork to test at state board. So when I did my little mock test, I got 100%. And so I'm like, I got this. So let's go ahead and get to date of state board. Now, state board was in Columbia, South Carolina. I am in Charleston, South Carolina. So that's like an hour and a half away. So instead of me getting up early in the morning to drive to state board, I decided to stay at my in-laws, who luckily only live 10 minutes away from the location from there, which was great. So I went up there extra early. So this is the day of state board. State board, it was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I got up at 6, took a shower, got dressed. Like I said, I was only 10 minutes away, so I really didn't have to get up that early to get to state board. But I was like, you know what, let me get there early, let me be prepared. I don't want any mishaps, blah, blah, blah. I don't want traffic. There was no traffic. It was only 10 minutes away. But, you know, traffic and all that other kind of stuff. So I was like, let me get there early. So I got there at 7 o'clock. So at 7, I got there. I sat in the parking lot. I went through my bag one more time, just made sure that my mannequin head was good. Everything was labeled, so because each bag has to be labeled. If you're in cosmetology school, then you know about the state board kit and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into detail because that's just going to make this video extra long. Like, that's just a whole different story. So I was going over my state board kit and, you know, just making sure everything was there, make sure that I had everything that I needed to get into this test. Okay. 7:15, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get my things and go into the hotel and get myself checked in, get myself ready to go. Oh my God, why am I getting anxiety now? This is how bad my anxiety is. This is legit how bad my anxiety is. So anyways, so I get into the hotel, I have my kit and everything, I have my paper. You have to have 2 forms of ID. So I check in and I get to my station. You know, they call the number or whatever table that you're at. They're numbered, I think it was like 1 through 13 or something like that, and I was number 7. So I went to my little table and I stood there. And I think it was probably about 7:20, 7:30 by the time like I was just standing at my location where I was supposed to stand. So at that point, I think I forgot to say, okay, so at that point I'm standing there. Mind you, I did not eat breakfast. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't drink anything because in my mind, I'm like, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't eat this early anyway. So I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't even grab juice because I was just so nervous. Like, I was nervous. Like, I knew I got this, but I have really bad anxiety. Like, it's really bad. So I'm sitting there nervous, just nervous. I'm just looking around the room. I see everybody else standing there, you know, just looking around, seeing when we're going to start and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm standing there, I'm like, oh my God, like, I feel bad. I'm starting to feel bad. Like I'm starting to feel like, oh, maybe I should have ate something and all that. And then I had to go to the bathroom. I really had to go to the bathroom, but I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll forget about it. Like it won't even be in my mind when the test starts. So I think it's like 7:30, 7:35, something like that. I'm standing there. I have to tell you, like, that was the longest 30 minutes of my entire life. Like, just legit standing there waiting for everybody else to come. If I would have known better, I would have waited till like 7:50 to come and walk in, because 8 o'clock hit. Finally, they come in. And I'm like, oh crap, I should have went to the bathroom. They close the doors. It's time to take this test. So in my head, I'm breathing. I'm like I feel faint. Like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. I'm like, maybe it's just because I didn't eat anything. Maybe it's from that shamrock shake that I had last night. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel right. I don't feel right. So I'm just like, what is going on with me? Like, what's wrong? Like, calm down, girl. It's not that serious. So I'm breathing. The first part of the test is the thermal curl. So I'm like, I know once I start this test, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be all right. So I start the test or whatever, and, you know, I'm doing thermal curling, you know, curling the hair, whoop-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing it. Done. Boom. Put my stuff down. So I have probably about 2-3 minutes to spare. So I'm like, okay, I should go to the bathroom. I'm not feeling good. Something's not right. I should go to the bathroom. So I raise my hand, and there. I'm like, okay, all right. I think I got like 2 more rows ahead of me. I can wait. The next girl goes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna faint. Like, in my head, I'm like, I'm about to pass out. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, no, I'm not about to faint. I'm about to throw up. I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not about to throw up. And I don't know if it's just me, but when I throw up, like, right before I throw up, my mouth waters. It like waters where it just won't stop. I just start to salivate, however you say it. It's just a waterfall of saliva coming out of my mouth. And I'm just like, at this point, I know I'm about to throw up. I go to the lady, I leave my station. I couldn't even raise. I was like, ma'am, I'm about to throw up. And she's like, you're about to throw up? I'm like, I'm about to throw up. So she was like, do you want a bucket? I'm like, no, I don't think I need a bucket. Then all of a sudden I was like, I do need a bucket. So she grabbed a trash can and she gave it to me. And right when I hit the door, everything came out. I threw up. I was like, get yourself together. Like, get your life, girl. Get your life. You just spent $175 on this theory and practical. Like, that ain't money that you need to be wasting right now. So get it together. You don't want to drive back up to Columbia. You don't want to do this again. Like get it together. Like, throw up. Do what you got to do. Get back out there and finish this test. I'm like, all right, I threw up. Cool. I threw up. I should feel good now. I shouldn't have to throw up anymore because there's nothing in me. There's like nothing in me other than that shamrock shake. I didn't eat breakfast. I didn't drink any juice or water. I should be good to go. So I'm doing my, 90-degree, doing razor cut, overhand, whatever, the 90-degree cut. I'm doing my cut. I'm not feeling good. Again. This is retarded. Why am I throwing up so much? Like, what in the world is going on? The 2 people that's sitting there, there's a woman sitting right here next to me, and then there was a dude like right next to me, and I swear they both looked at me like I was contagious, like I had Zika virus or something. Like, they were looking like I could smell the throw up on you. Like, that's gross. You're grossing me out right now. Like, sanitation, I'm good now. Don't gotta throw up. So I get through that first part, I'm doing my panels, doing my sectioning, applying the cholesterol, doing my thing. I put the bowl down and I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I'm ready for the next part, which is the color retouch. So they're giving the instructions, and I kid you not, Like I am highly embarrassed of this. Like I could laugh about it now. Like I'm still really, really embarrassed because I mean it's not only strangers that were there. It was some girls from my school that were there. Like I'm pretty sure they left and was like, "Did you know that Bila threw up?" Da, 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 da. But anyways, so I'm sitting there and they're going over the instruction part for the next segment or the next portion of the test. And while she's going over this section, I had no time to think. I had no time to grasp what was about to happen to me. Like it's just really mind-blowing how all this played out. But it legit just like I don't know what was in me to come out like that. I don't know where all that came from. Like, what was sitting in there that I didn't already bring up? Like, so it was like the gates of hell opened up, came out my mouth, and this was in front of everybody. Mind you, there's probably about 100 girls. I'll probably say like 70 to 100 girls in this conference room taking this test, and it was like everything went silent and I just threw up and I had to grab the close to me to throw up in. And when you go to state board, you have like 3 bags. You have your soiled items, you have your items to discard, and you have your items soiled linen, items to discard, and disinfect. So I tried quick. I looked on the ground and I was like, what am I gonna grab? I'm like, the throw up's literally in my mouth. What am I gonna throw? So I grabbed the items to discard bag. Thank God. I grabbed that bag and I ran. I in the bag and ran out the room, like in front of everybody. Like everybody. Like, so if they didn't know that I was throwing up before, they knew that I was throwing up now. So at this point, I'm on the brink of tears because I physically, in my body, feel like I cannot finish this test. I feel weak. I feel dehydrated. My mouth was like, it was dry. It was legit dry. Like I couldn't swallow spit. If the next test was me to lick an envelope and send it, I would have failed because I had no saliva to lick that envelope. Like I was sweating. It was crazy. I was sweating and I was dehydrated, which is I went in the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna quit. I'm just gonna quit. Like, I didn't even want to grab my stuff. That's how embarrassed I was. Like I just wanted to go ahead and walk out, get in the car. But in my mind, I was like, I would feel that much worse to know that I gave up when I was so close. Like to know that I gave up that easily. Like I felt horrible. I was shaking, trembling. Like I felt like I couldn't stand any longer in the whole test. It's not like I could have been like, hey, I'm sick, can you let me sit down? Like, no, that's not fair to everybody else who was taking the test. Like I had to take the test like everybody else was taking the test. That was my story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you would like to hear any other story times. I really don't have any like recent stories, but I have some really good, past stories. So if you want to hear that, but this is my state board. And again, now I am a licensed cosmetologist. I am so excited to say that. And yeah, I might do a video on some of the salons that I'm going to be interviewing with in a couple weeks. I don't know. So I might post that. I don't know. Anyways, thanks again for viewing my story time, and check back with my channel and I might have another interesting story time.